Alright, we're going to do a video recap of this thing here and talk about some stuff we discussed yesterday in that meet and greet. So just in case you missed it on the website, one thing I do after each lesson is something like this. Do a video recap covering everything we discussed in the lesson and demonstrate what to do at a few different speeds. So this way you have another tool to use to make sure that you know how to practice, what to practice, and things like that throughout the week. So things to keep in mind: starting the metronome at 60 beats a minute, getting the habit of tapping your foot with that metronome, and getting in the habit of syncing up your hand with the foot. So every time the foot goes down, the hand goes down. Every time the foot comes up, the hand comes up. So you're just constantly syncing up that downbeat with the downstroke and the upbeat with the upstroke. Eventually, getting the 16th notes, you'll be doing 4 strums per click. So it's going to be a little bit different when we get to that. But for now, just to establish very solid rhythm skills with this and help get really fluid strumming going and training the old brain to read different things, be able to pick up on this stuff quickly, build the old foundation stuff. That's what we're doing at the moment before getting into the playing really fast. So, yeah, I put the downstrokes and upstroke stuff in there just as a reminder of how you should be doing this. And, eventually I won't be putting those in because you'll understand that, if it's a downbeat, you do a downstroke. If it's an upbeat, you do an upstroke. So, one thing you did that was really good is you just were playing one chord while just kind of reading through what the rhythm is. So that's always a good thing to do. Simplify things, so this way progress is being made right away. So what I'll do here, I'm going to put the metronome on at 60. I'm just going to count the rhythm. And that's another thing to do. Get in the habit of counting out loud what you play. So as you brought up yesterday, you notice I was not counting all 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the whole time. Only saying the part that you're going to play. So this was to emphasize what it is you're playing, because for some reason when we say these things out loud, it helps reinforce what we're doing, and it makes it actually easier on a lot of things once we get in the hang of this, and it just really helps develop our rhythm skills a lot more. This is one of the biggest things that helped me in terms of being able to understand and play complicated rhythms. Once I learned how to count the stuff out loud, I was picking stuff up real fast. Before that, it was a big pain in the ass. So, here we go. Put some volume here. So, just counting this through, we have 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and done. So whenever I get to this last chord here after the repeat, basically your resolve chord, you don't need to let that ring out for the full 4 count. I just hit it and then I'm done. So here we go. I'm going to demonstrate this at various speeds, just so you can hear and see how things line up, just in case you have any questions with how you're performing something. So one last thing: as you get faster, maybe past 160, you might find that tapping your foot is just getting a little too ridiculous. So you may need to start tapping like every other beat. So basically tap on beats 1 and 3 as things start to get really fast. So the goal with 8th note stuff is basically to be able to play things up to 240 before you start working on 16th notes. But we're going to be doing a lot of different rhythm things here, a lot of different upbeat and upstroke focus, which is where a lot of guitar players have a big struggle with, because they're so used to locking everything into a downbeat. So when we get rid of a downbeat and have you start focusing on upstrokes and upbeats, they can really expose a weakness in one's playing, but it makes rhythm way more solid, and it sets you up for being able to, play all the crazy fast stuff. So, here we go. 60 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. double the speed, 120. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, now eventually things are going to get going so fast that counting along not very practical. If you can count up to 120, that'd be great. Bare minimum, be able to do it at 60, but after like 120, if you don't want to count anymore, that's okay. But one thing to keep in mind, when we start doing 16th notes, that's the same speed as 8th notes at 120, and counting out loud 16th notes at 60 beats a minute, we're going to be doing that. So that's why you can get up to 120 counting out loud with the 8th notes, good idea. But past that, you can go ahead and give your mouth a break. So I'm going to go to 160 next. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Almost screwed up on that repeat. Alright, 200 beats a minute. I think I'm going to refrain from counting on this, but I'm still going to tap along. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I screwed up. Take 2. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. I started counting anyway because it helped. Because it helped. Alright, 240. If you get to this, let me know. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that time I was counting out loud very quietly, just to reinforce what I was doing. I was still only tapping on beats 1 and 3 at that speed. But, you know, as you work things up, and another reminder there, so yeah, you start at 60 each day, you practice this thing. Every time you play it correctly once, go up by 5 beats a minute. And then you know how fast you get if you get some time throughout the week. And then starting at the beginning of next lesson, technically the first real lesson, I'll ask you to demonstrate this at 60 and 120 or whatever, and maybe some other speeds depending on how fast you got it. If that's the thought I was trying to remember, if you want what some people prefer doing, this way you don't have the pressure of having to perform things on Skype. You can record a video of yourself demonstrating things before each lesson and send that over, because some students, they'll go to do their performance to show how things went throughout the week, and then they might make a mistake. It's very common. So they'll make a mistake, and then they start over at whatever speed it is, and then maybe another mistake happens, and then the pressure just kind of keeps going up and up on them. So that's why I tell people, like, if you feel more comfortable recording yourself and sending me a video, like maybe the day of the lesson or the day before, that's totally fine. If you prefer to do it at the beginning of the Skype session, also fine. I'm happy either way. So if you have any questions with this, please let me know, and I'll see you on Thursday.